doing? A very good morning. I hope that you're doing well. As I quite rightly say, Dr. Hamisi is with us here, and he's barefoot. And, well, unfortunately for me, I want to quote Ambrose Kiriam Maina, my teacher in high school, who said of me then, Willis, you're like a tiger. You have claws in terms of my nails, so I will not expose my nails. I didn't go for my pedicure yet. However, I also want to introduce, there's one guest here who represents, Dr. will tell us, but there's this other special guest who is here, who I also want to introduce. Yes, so the one is vibrant, full of energy and blood flowing. This is Manchester United. On this side is a skeleton, not knowing whether they're coming, going, or gone. This is Arsenal. And when Arsenal say they have a game in hand, this is what they mean. This is the hand Arsenal is talking about. Please, mutafute ayo mumwambie. All right, jokes aside though. Very good morning, Daktari.
Yes.
Uko salama?
Niko salama sana.
Maybe introduce yourself first and what exactly you do.
Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Hamisi Kote. I am a chiropractor specialized in fascia manipulation by Steco. I'm also the founder of the Human Garage. I practice wellness.
Wellness?
Yes.
So, is there beg your pardon, wellness and medicine?
Yes.
It's mixed.
There's a difference.
All right.
We say medicine is the study of disease and how people die.
Right.
And wellness is the study of life and how people live.
Right.
Right.
So you practice wellness.
Yes.
Right. And uko nani pia kuna chiropractic and everything. But explain to us like what happens. So if I come to you, like what are the areas you specialize in?
When I talk about wellness, let me speak. We talk about wellness as a journey. Right. So we call.
I can help you there.
Yes. So we say health is a journey, and for us to be able to understand health, then we have 5 definitions of things that we need to define. One, we need to define what health is. And according to World Health Organization, health is defined as a complete state of physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely absence of disease or sickness. This is because me and you and our guest here standing, we could be having a disease that is inside us, but we have no symptoms. For example, research shows that 57% of the people who get coronary heart disease or heart attack, their first symptom is death. So many other scholars who have defined health say that health is how your body functions on every day, how your body functions on a day. So therefore, it is very important for us to get a checkup on how our body functions. And for this then, we ask ourselves the second question is, then what controls health?
Right.
And health is controlled by the central nervous system. And that's why I have this chart with me. The central nervous system can be divided into 3 parts, okay? We have what we call motor nerves. Motor nerves are nerves that control muscles.
Right.
How I move, pick, grab, take, voluntary. And then we have autonomic nerves. In autonomic nerves, we are looking at blood vessels, we are looking at organs, we are looking at glands. And then we have the sensory nerves. Sensory nerves are those nerves that help communicate what is happening inside us and outside us.
Right.
Yes. So there's a very big difference between feeling versus function.
Right.
As I said, we all may be feeling very well, but the question is, are we functioning as well? What we need to understand is that these 3 parts of the central nervous system behave differently, and these 2 have no sensory feeling. Therefore, you don't feel pain when they are affected. And the problems that we get whenever we have a problem with the motor nerves are weaknesses, are muscle spasms.
So weakness is like generally
weakness, like you don't have strength.
Right.
You have no strength. Okay. Muscle spasms is like getting cramps. Fatigue, you do something little and you're out of breath, and tightness, you're very stiff. This causes no pain, and most of us live with them for a very long time.
Right.
And then on the other side, you have those that would affect the inside, and therefore you can get sinus, you can get allergies, you can get low energy, whereby you just feel like in the morning, oh, I don't want to do anything. Yes, you don't want to do anything.
Right.
You get digestive problems. You get breathing problems.
What are like digestive problems?
Gas, constipation,
right.
acidity, bloating. Yes. Okay. On the sensory part,
breathing problems could this be the snoring and everything?
Snoring, asthma.
Right.
We see anxiety. You know, when you have a dysfunction of breathing, when you have dysfunction of breathing, you get anxiety, for example. You also get dizziness. So breathing is a very wide topic.
Okay.
Sensory is, now we said, it's communication between us and the outside world. So our position in space. So posture, how body temperature, and when these are all tightened and strained, then we develop pain.
Right.
Now, we may ask ourselves then, why is it that these ones don't cause pain? It's because the way the body is set, the body is set under tension. What does that mean? It means when you get a cut, your skin does not stay intact, it gapes. The reason why it gapes is because the body was set under a given tension. And that tension is what allows the body to have this electrical movement and allow things to happen.
Right.
So we say feeling good is never equal to good health.
Right.
But good health is equals to healthy function.
Right.
Okay? Now, with this kind of an understanding then, we need to look at how did life start? And for us to understand how life starts, we need to go back into an egg. And when you look at an egg, and maybe we pick a chicken egg because it's easy one to see, the chicken egg will have the shell, it will have the white yolk, it will have the yellow yolk. And these three layers are actually suspended by a membrane and a fluid.
Right.
If these three layers get to join together, then the egg is spoiled.
Right.
But if the life is present, then that suspension has to be maintained. Now, an egg from a male and an egg from a female have an intelligence. They have a life in them. And this intelligence is what attracts these eggs to come into being and get together. And when this happens, then there's a cascade event of trillions of cells that continue to multiply to reproduce now the body.
Right.
Okay? Now, between 0 and 18 days, the first 18 days of life, the body will lay a foundation. It's like, think of building a house.
Right.
Okay, so if you're building a house, the first thing you'll dig trenches. Okay, so in the human body is the same. The first thing we lay down the bone. The bone of the spine, that is the vertebrae and the skull, and in it we lay the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, and then we realize that the brain and the spinal cord are encased in bone, like you can see here.
Right.
See, this is the skull.
Right.
Inside the skull, we have the brain. And then inside each one of these vertebrae that we can see, these are what we call the vertebrae.
This is
the vertebrae.
Yes, okay.
These ones. And in between them is the discs. And then you can see in yellow, let me turn this for the camera to see. In yellow, it's the nerves that come out of this brain and of the brain and the spinal cord. And then, as I said, you can see there are other segments that are cushioned. Okay, we call them discs. Now, when this is being laid, at the same time, there is also laying of the bones. Okay, of the hands and the feet. And what is interesting is that the foot has 33 joints. If you were to count this 1, 2, 3, each one of these joints up to here, there are 33 joints.
In the foot alone?
In the foot alone, okay. The same number of joints that are found
on the spine.
On the spine. That is key for us to remember. So we have said the brain and the spinal cord control life. And the brain and the spinal cord are encased in bone. So when these nerves come out of the spinal cord, they go into connective tissue, muscles, and then from the muscles they'll go into the organs. Okay, so they'll go in there they'll go in there to supply the blood vessels, to supply the nerves, to supply the organs, to supply the glands. Okay, and at the same time they're supplying muscles, ligaments, and the skin. Now, once we understand that, then we know that. That's why this gentleman comes in.
Right.
This gentleman comes in.
Okay.
Yes.
You know if you're okay, if you're doing okay.
You're okay. Yes, he's fine.
Right.
He's
All right,
fine.
go ahead.
So once this has been set like that, and it's set under attention, the bones make it set under tension. Like though you'd set a tent.
Right.
You know, it is stretched under yes.
When you're pitching it, right?
Yes, okay. yes. Then our creator came up with a suit. So he has a suit that you put in this way, all the way, that allows you to bend forward and backward. Okay? Then another suit is put in this way to allow us to go this way and this way, to open this way and this way.
Right.
We're together? Those are two suits. And if you're to think about movement, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We're together? And then this is what, let's say, fish and most two-sided animals will do. That's why a fish is only able to open its mouth and it's able to move like this. A fish cannot turn in water like this. So then in God's creation, he added another layer in, which now allows us to turn in and turn out. We're together? So we go back to our egg. Remember we said the egg is suspended in, the layers are suspended in a membrane.
Right.
That membrane is a connective tissue which we are calling these layers. And these layers, the way God created us, they have a fluid, like a lubricant. In between these layers that we have seen, there's a lubricant that allows these tissues to glide without getting tangled. That's why when I turn, I will not say, oh, Laburu, wait for me to move my kidney so that I can turn.
Right.
You know, or I will not say, oh, I need to, my heart is stuck or my lungs are stuck.
Right.
It is a symbiotic relationship that allows the body to be able to interact and glide freely. Now, with that understanding, then we know that is what we call a life force. Okay? So the life force creates an intelligence that allows the body to now have this full built. The next thing that is important about the central nervous system is that the central nervous system is a communication center. So after all these nerves have been set in, the sewage piping, which is the blood vessels for oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, have been formed, the electrical wires, which will be the nerves, and the ducts, which will be for the lymphatic drainage, have been set. All these things have to communicate. So information, the body, from the brain to the body and back. So, for example, if you look at in a 24-hour clock, we realize that the body will transmit impulses, you know, at a speed of it's about what? It's about 325 miles per hour in a network of about 45 miles of nerves in the body. Okay? This is important to help your body to function the way your body is supposed to function normally on a daily basis. For example, let's take in a 24-hour clock. You take in a 24-hour clock, your heart will pump about 103, 680 times, and pump about 21,000 gallons of blood in a network of about 62,000 miles of blood vessels. At the same time, your body will produce about 69 trillions of red blood cells, 7 million brain cells will be formed. So this communication is very essential, because when it is interrupted, the body will start to behave in an unhealthy manner.
Right.
Okay? The next thing that is important about the central nervous system is what we call master control. So all this communication has to be regulated, has to be controlled. This master control allows the body to have the ability to heal itself. For example, if you get cut, healing does not start when you go to the doctor and you get stitched or bandaged.
Right.
Healing starts immediately the cut happens.
Right.
Same thing if you get an infection. Healing starts immediately, and that's how you realize you're sick. Okay?
Wait, so, okay, explain that. So when you say healing starts immediately.
Yes.
So the medicine will come to...
The medicine is inbuilt.
Okay.
Remember, the body has an intelligence.
Right.
So if you cut yourself, many times you have cut yourself and you've not gone to the doctor.
Yes.
How did that heal?
It just comes and forms a scar.
Yes. How did it heal?
It becomes a scar, right.
It's the intelligence. The body was built to self-heal and self-regulate. Okay? So so we're saying if your body is cut, it will heal immediately. If you go into a dark room what will happen to your pupil? It will try to dilate so that you can accommodate more light. If you go to a place with a lot of light, again, your pupil will shrink. If you go to
the cameraman here called Iris.
Yes.
Yes.
If we go to a cold environment, you start shivering. All your blood will be put inside the inside your internal organs. If you go to a very hot place, you start perspiring and sweating. So this is how the body was built to function. Right. Now then, we ask ourselves then, why is health important? Health is important because when these functions work as they should, then we cannot get sick. But whenever there's an interference in life force, which is the circulation of energy in the body, whenever there's a problem with communication in the nerves as they come out of the body can be tangled and the nerve roots can be tangled on the muscles, can be tangled in the organs. And in one of these places where it's tangled, it is, over time, it creates what? A dysfunction. A dysfunction causes us to get sick.
Right.
Or to get pain.
Right.
Okay? So with that understanding, then we ask ourselves then, what is the enemy? Or what is the enemy of central nervous system?
Right.
Actually, there are two things. One of them is called subluxation. Subluxation. It's just a complex name to say misalignment.
Okay. You know, right. Yes.
It's a very, yeah. So when these bones and vertebrae have been set, they have been aligned in a way to allow for smooth movement of all these joints in the three planes of motion. Now, for whatever reason, it can be physical, it can be chemical, it can be emotional, the tension can change, resulting in compression of the nerve at the nerve root. If it happens at the nerve root, it will give you a disc bulge. And the disc bulge will give you what? Muscle spasm on the back and what? And low back pain, for example. It can happen on the muscle. If it happens on the muscle, on the connective tissue, and there's compression, it can give you numbness, tingling, pain down the arm, pain down the leg. At the same time, it can happen inside in the organ, in a gland, in a vessel, to cause blood pressure, to cause gas and bloating, to cause incontinence, and name it, anything can happen in it. Okay. Now, whenever this happens, again, we say it spoils how the body works. And when you put a misalignment, and you give it time, the body will do what? It will compensate. It will try to compensate so that it can get into a comfortable position, to be able to try and meet the demands of the body to the parts that nerve supplies.
So is that why naonanga watu wengine wako na ile wanaitanga academic angle? Academic angle.
Yes. And the next cause that affects central nervous system is called densification. Densification is, we said, these layers have a layer of fluid that allows them to glide. It's the same thing that allows me and you to speak, my eye and you to roll. This fluid. That fluid, whenever there's a problem in the tissues and these layers get stuck together, they also compress the nerves, but also again cause a shifting, and that shifting now causes problems. This densification over time again also causes dysfunctions in the musculoskeletal system and also in the internal organs, and also emotion, how we feel. Okay, now,
so your stresses, your anxieties,
yes, everything gets into it. And then you may ask, then how do we get sick? You know, how do these things happen? They can happen again in three ways: in a physical, in a chemical, and an emotion. So you out there who is watching, I want to give you a challenge. Let's do a small exam. Take a piece of paper.
Let's go. Chukua kalamu.
And
na Vivian ka kalamu. Yes, go ahead.
So we're gonna write. The first one is physical.
Physical.
Okay. So anything that I name that you have had, you either had it as a child. So if it's a child, you're gonna write a C. If you had it as a teenager, you're gonna write a T. If you have had it as an adult, you're gonna write an A. And if you have never had it, you're gonna write an N.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is this: if you don't have a piece of paper, you can whip out your phone.
Yes.
You can whip out your phone and write it down. So we do this test together. We'll give you. Just fungua simu uende kwa note sama message kwenye WhatsApp. Then I'll ask daktari to start again. All right, go, repeat it one more time for those who are watching.
So we're gonna write that the top is physical.
Right. Let me do it as well.
Yes.
Okay.
So number one, number one of the causes is childbirth. Okay.
So repeat the C's.
Oh, okay. So whatever I'll mention, the things I've mentioned, if you had it as a child, you're going to write a C.
Okay.
If you had it as a teen, you're going to write a T.
Okay.
If you had it as an adult, you're going to write an A.
Okay.
And if you have never had it, you're going to write a C.
A C again?
No. Yes, just a C. Sorry, an N. An
Okay.
N. An N.
All right.
Okay?
I got it.
So number one is childbirth. Anybody who has witnessed childbirth is a very traumatic event. And we believe a lot of problems starts at childbirth.
Right.
So that's number one. Number two is falls. If you're fallen as a child, you're going to write C.
So if you've fallen as a child?
You're going to write C.
Okay.
Okay. The other thing is accidents. And accidents here, they can be car accident, it can be any form of accident. So if you've ever had an accident, either as a child, or a teenager, or an adult, you're going to write a C, a T, an A, or an N. Mm-hmm. The other thing we look at is sitting on your wallet.
Yeah. Right now.
Yeah, sitting on your wallet.
Okay.
Sleeping on your stomach.
Okay.
Excessive computer work. Carrying, the way we make our children carry these heavy backpacks. Standing for a long time. Sitting for a long time. Driving long distance. A fracture or a dislocation in the body. Or if you, the other one is if you stand for a long time. Something that you do that stresses your body for a long time. That is physical. The next title is emotional.
Emotional.
So it's emotional. So emotional here we are looking at relationships. You've been in relationships are stressful. We all know that. Children.
What if it's been as a child, a teen, and an adult?
You're gonna write. You're gonna write. Yes.
Okay.
Children, mm-hmm. Money, fast-paced life. Perfectionism, procrastination, inhaled feelings, loss of someone, sickness. And then we go to the last one, which is chemical. Chemical here, we are looking at environmental pollution. We are looking at smoking and secondhand smoke. Don't forget secondhand smoke. We are looking at food additives. We are looking at artificial sweeteners. We are looking at self-medication over the counter. We are looking at long-term prescription drugs. Now, I hope if you have now marked all your slots,
yes,
then it's easy for you now to see which one among physical, chemical, and emotional you have had is your worst stressor.
My worst stressor. Well, emotional and physical are battling it out. But mostly physical.
And you realize that then you have had these stresses from birth.
A little.
Yes, from birth. And we carry those things with us through life.
Right.
And when we carry these things with us through life, we don't think, when we are sick today, we don't imagine when I had asthma as a child could be contributing to why my knees are killing me today. When I had asthma as a child could be contributing to my anxiety today. Now, once you have looked at that, then we ask ourselves then, how can we be healthy again? Okay?
How can we be
healthy again? Right. For us to be healthy, we have to address the three items that we have mentioned.
So the physical,
the emotional, and the chemical. Right. And then how do we do that? We do that by one, we use chiropractic. Chiropractic is the science and art of finding and correcting vertebral subluxation, those joint misalignment within the spine. Right. Because when you remove them, when you correct the misalignment, you allow the nerve to function properly without hindering the supply of impulses to the organs, to the skin, to the muscles, and to the other tissues.
And how will I know that I need? Will I be like, you see like the way I will be seated now? It's like,
yes.
Because that's what happens. Because we use our phones a lot, so we're always like this.
Yes.
Whether we are seated, we're like this. So how do I know that I need to be?
Basic checks. I tell people basic checks.
Okay.
You know, civilization has brought us good things, but at the same time have brought us bad things.
Right.
Very few people, for you to test your health, I give very simple test. This.
The test will be to the tailor.
Yeah.
If I do that one, the test is the tailor.
Try, let's go.
Inaweza raruka hapa. Tailor ndo atapata shida. Ita raruka oni vile iko tight already.
Let's go. This is the simplest test to check health. You know, go all the way. So you see the Buru cannot go to a toilet in the village.
No, but it's because of my trouser.
It is very simple. You can see even when he squats, he goes here.
Yeah, because I'm afraid of the
trouser.
But ningekuwa na short,
Yeah. So that is one thing that that's one test that you can use.
Yes.
The second thing is breath.
Okay.
Okay? How long can you hold your breath?
I don't know. We can try. How long is that supposed to be?
At least you should hold that breath for a minute.
A minute I can.
You can?
Yes.
All right. Let's time.
Okay. Okay, let's go. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Wellness test. Acha niwache kufanya activities. Tunafanya na wewe Timo.
Recorder. Okay. You ready?
Are you ready?
You ready?
Okay. Ayub. Okay.
So we have
I do. And then
so take in your deep breath and out. So when you breathe out, you're gonna hold it from there.
Oh, after breathing out.
Yes.
Okay.
So ready?
Okay.
1, 2, go. Out. Go. Willie, you're breathing.
I'm not breathing. Those who know me know I'm a very good swimmer. 1 minute naweza fanya.
You breathe at 25.
I didn't breathe. Ungeweka mkono hapa basi.
At 25, we saw your diaphragm start moving. So a lot of us are shallow breathers. A lot of us.
Shallow breathers.
A lot of us are shallow breathers. If only we can do deep breathing, we would not need to go to hospital to get more oxygen that we pay for. So one of the things that you can do to get yourself healthy is to learn how to do proper deep breathing. And what is that? There are several ways of doing deep breathing. One of the easiest way that anyone can do is called 4-7-8.
4-7-8.
Yes. Okay. 4-7-8 means you're going to take in breath in, count of 4, hold, count of 7, exhale, count of 8.
Come again, so I take it in.
So you take it and you count 1, 2, 3, 4. You hold.
Okay.
You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we exhale. So let's go there. Let's go for it.
So, okay.
Ready? So take in a deep breath. Hold. Exhale slowly. We repeat a count of 4. In. Hold. Exhale. In. Hold. Exhale.
Whew.
Last one. In. 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 Hold. Exhale. What do you feel?
Nasikia kichwa. Nilitoa earpiece kwa sababu watu walikuwa wanacheka huku ndani. Ningecheka nikibreathe in. So
that is one
right.
way. That is one way that you can do. If you do this breathing every morning when you wake up.
How many times? Just 4 times?
4 times is the good. You can do twice, but 4 times is good. You do when you wake up, when you're going to sleep. You'll be surprised, one, you'll be able to reset your sleeping. A lot of us don't sleep.
Right.
A lot of us don't sleep. And sleep is one of the key things that you need to be healthy. Because your body repairs whenever you are dead asleep, whenever you get to that deep sleep. So one of the things that I tell my patients is, you need to remove TV from your bedroom.
Uh-oh.
Number one. Number two, you need to be switching off your phone and keep it away.
At what time?
You have to set a time that is good for you to sleep, because you have to get 8 hours of sleep. Okay. So you have to decide, if you're going to be sleeping at 9, then you switch off your phone at 9. It has to go off. You go to bed. That has to be special time for you. You know, all the other things you're going to be chasing around are not important as you sleep. And then, so you set a routine for how you sleep. So you do this before you sleep, and you do it when you wake up. It will help boost your immunity, number one. Number two, reset your sleep pattern. Okay, that's number one. Number two,
bare feet.
Yeah.
Yes, tell us about this. Ayub said that he wants to start adapting this.
Yes. So when God was creating these things, and we said the feet and the hands.
And he mentioned the feet have 32 joints.
Yes. It was important because at the bottom of the feet, you have this hard skin. Okay? This hard skin is there for a reason. It's there to help us grip. We were not built to wear shoes. That is the truth. We were not built to wear shoes. If we were built to wear shoes, kids would be born with shoes. But we were not born with shoes. But we were born with this toughened, yes, we were born with this toughened skin that, one, helps us not to slide. Okay, because if you look at the skin on the top here, slides. Number two is also the termination of all these suits. You see, the edges of the suits are terminated, are tied at the end. This is where these tissues connect with the other layers. They merge together to create one thing, for us to have proper use of the hands and proper use of your feet. Number two, your organs are imprinted in your feet and in your palms. That was not by accident. It was because your feet are supposed to act as antennas, as the areas, the same as your ears, eyes, and nose. They're supposed to be antennas that collect information from the environment into your subconscious mind in the central nervous system for, one, helping us to adapt into changing environmental changes. Number two, to help the body release some of the electrolytes, or some of the electrolytes in the body, because our body is an electrical gel, and over time we accumulate a lot of magnetic energy. That's why some people, when they touch a metallic thing, they get shocked. They get static electricity. Or even when you're going to bed, you're moving your clothes and it's like, you can see all this electricity. That too much electricity needs not to be there in your body. And that's why the humans, when they were starting building houses, they put what? An earthing rod,
right, to
be able to disperse some of that energy. Whenever you have all this energy in your body, then again you provide a safe haven for inflammation to flourish. So that is number one. Number two, the 33 joints of the spine of the foot help us. Whenever I make my foot, I step down and I load like this, I move all my 33 joints of the spine forward. So whenever I load and I lift this other leg and I want to go to step, I shift all my weight to the side, and then when I load, I rotate and I shift all my spine joints into that direction. When this happens, of course it happens on both sides of the body, you don't get a lot of muscle spasm you don't get the stuck back, this muscle spasm, blocked, this herniation, all these we get all these. Why? Because the shoe is one of the causes. Cause one, the shoe, most of the shoes that we wear, first of all, are narrow in the front, so they compress or your toes. I'm sure if God wanted the foot to be compressed, there was no point of putting the spaces. You'd have just had it as a block. So there's a reason why you have the spaces. So these spaces that you have here allows your foot to act just like your hands, and allow the vertebra of your spine to move in all the different directions. When you wear the foot, it's like you have a spacer. Remember, if you have a spacer in your car, insurance will not pay for it.
Right.
So this spacer kind of gives you a suspension. It doesn't give you the connection with Mother Nature. We all forget we came from soil and back to the soil we go. We always keep on talking about disease and germs, but they are all based on a germ theory. And a theory is just that, a theory, you know. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this because the biggest germs we put in our body is not through the feet, it's through here and breathing. So whatever you put in your body, you have this tube that is full of bacteria, virus, fungi, anything that you may think of, and we get it from whatever we collect and eat.
Right.
So when we walk barefoot, we help that. And we also help the body to get ionized and to get energized, to improve your immunity, to lower your blood sugar, to lower your blood pressure, to strengthen your calf muscle, to strengthen your back muscles, to correct your posture. All these are benefits that are important for the way the body functions. Also to enhance sleep. The third thing that you can do, that is again free, is water.
Oh yeah, that's a place where is a problem.
Yeah.
For
water.
me at least, but I'm getting better.
People, if we are to drink water as recommended, then we would reduce gas and bloating, we would reduce acidity, we would reduce constipation. If you go to the hospital today, a lot of people lying in bed in hospitals are suffering from these three things. So we can reduce the amount of sickness by just drinking water, number one. Number two, fasting. When we fast, we help our body to regenerate. We help our body to break down. Like a snake, the body is able to shed and remove, remove unwanted dead skin and remove unwanted dead cells to rejuvenate, just like a plant would do. Then, the other thing about water, you can use water which is cold shower.
A cold shower?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Cold shower. We said the body has the communication with outside environment to help us adapt. So, when you take cold shower, you stress your central nervous system. And when you stress your central nervous system, what happens is that your body produces a lot of what? Fighting soldiers. You have more, it's like recruiting more soldiers. You boost your immune system. So even if you get sick, your body is very well prepared to handle what?
Is this why do athletes take ice baths?
They take ice baths to reduce inflammation.
Ah, okay.
But at the same time to boost their performance and recovery, enhance their recovery time. Cold helps you recover faster.
Right.
So it's important also for tissue regeneration.
Right.
Okay. The other thing is, we said drinking water. The other thing we look about is healthy nutrition. Of course, healthy nutrition, everybody knows about healthy eating. But then when you're talking about healthy eating, what are we talking about? We need to look for foods that don't help us add what? Inflammation in the body. Which are these foods that don't help us add inflammation? They are foods that are not manufactured. Things that ile sugar you get from mother's garden.
Yes.
The things you're able to get immediately from the farm that are organic, are not highly processed, are good. The foods that are not highly sprayed with pesticides and all these are also healthy. And that's why you find when you eat GMO, or if you eat broiler chicken and you eat kienyeji chicken, the taste is different. Why is the taste different? Because one has life and one has no life. So the GMO stuff has no life because they cannot reproduce. If you cannot reproduce, you cannot have that intelligence to make two tango and produce another one. Therefore, it does not produce life. Therefore, even in your body, the benefits are little compared to something that is organic.
Wholesome.
That's wholesome, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Maybe before we let you go, there is what we talked about. You talked about one of your key mantras is health is a journey. Maybe I don't know if you have that picture up, and maybe you can also put it somewhere here so Dr. can see and walk us through either on one of these two screens. So that we can, as we wrap it up, I know we didn't open it up for questions, but we'll definitely, just as we were talking, I was thinking we need to have Dr. back here again. So now, since you've given us like a class 1, I'm laughing because I can see Ayub downing some water on there on the side. Good job, brother, good job. So, sorry, umesema aje Bashwa? Okay, so go ahead and let's have the picture up, then Dr. can watch us through what he says on the means. So
the other thing as he puts that on is that we said you can correct subluxation by manipulating the spine. But also, these layers of the body have what we call sequences or meridians. You've heard in Chinese meridians. It's nerves that are arranged in line this way, that nerves that are arranged in line this other way, and that nerves that are arranged in line in a circular motion. So these nerves, whenever they are tangled, we go to release those specific positions through a method we call fascia manipulation.
Right.
So fascia manipulation, we understand, it's like acupuncture by hand. You understand how the body was formed, you understand what points corresponds to where, and because the body was set under tension, you release this tension. It's like adjusting a tent to be able to be mounted, properly stretched out.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, iko ya mashua? Haya, wega leo uzito. So we can go ahead and do it. Meanwhile, Arsenal's
there you go.
hand is here. All right, let's go ahead and walk us through.
So we say,
Thank you. All right.
So we say health is a journey.
Right.
And that journey begins at birth. And when the journey begins at birth, we are able to take three routes. Route number one is this route whereby you may develop a problem, and you decide, it's gonna go away. You're not gonna do anything about it, and if you don't do anything about it, it will continue to kill you.
To decline.
Yes, it will kill you. Then you have the second majority of us, who the problem starts at birth. You don't feel anything until maybe in early primary, and in early primary you start having an issue. So that age that you started having an issue, you need to put that as the stress. First of all, there's a stress age when birth, and then when you got aware, you need to put that as the awareness age, and then all you need to do is minus this to see how many years your body has been under stress. Now, the second group of people who get unwell come here. When they're unwell, they don't do much here, but the problem may persist, and they go to see a doctor. When they go to see a doctor, they'll be given medication to treat signs and symptoms. So when you're treated, for some reason you feel better. The symptoms, the pain, the dysfunctions kind of feels a bit relieved. Then you feel like you're well, and you go back to your old ways. Right. Whatever you were doing before that made you got sick. And then your health slightly again starts what? To decline. And when your health starts to decline, you go to see a second provider. Here it was maybe a general practitioner, a family medicine physician. Here you're now going to see a consultant. You go and see a consultant. The consultant will address you, treat you, but also manage you with another person, another second consultant. Why? Because maybe when you went to see this doctor, let's say he's a stomach doctor, but then you're also having a chest problem. So these two doctors will start managing you, and slightly your condition will do what? Will start improving. At this time you are taking so many medication, but you see, you are not stopping your behavior that is making you unwell. That will lead you here. That's why you find a lot of people are taking a lot of drugs,
right? A
lot of drugs, but their conditions don't do what? Don't improve. They keep on going down. And then we say you can take a second journey, which is a wellness journey, where you identify the problem, go see the doctor and get treated. The doctor helps you cross the river. I normally say medicine and hospital is supposed to help you cross the river to the other side. And when you cross to the other side, you need to start living a healthy lifestyle. You need to change how you do things so that you don't keep on falling back here. But again, people follow the same path. They feel better, and when they feel better, they go back to their old ways, and then they get unwell again, and this becomes their wake-up call. And most of the time, this one comes at around 55, when you have done everything else, and your body is still going down. So people either make a choice to do healthy or continue doing the same thing. Right. So when you decide to do healthy, then your health will take a different trajectory. You will start getting your functional nervous system checked. So subluxation removed, densification removed. You'll start doing exercising. You'll change your nutrition. You start taking enough rest. You start taking enough water. You'll sleep. You'll change your attitude towards health and wellness. Because we say pain is not a lifestyle.
All right. Yep. Well, Dr. because of time, we'd just like to tell us, of course, I know there are many people with questions. We normally open up for questions, but today we didn't. But of course, we'll have you back again. But in the meantime, where can they find you? What are where the handles, come on, number, SIM, location? Tell us.
I'm found at the Human Garage. The Human Garage is located in Parklands, on 2nd Parklands Avenue on Sanaka Road. Our telephone number is 0713-030-395 or 7. Our handles are the Human Garage Facebook, Human Garage Twitter, Human Garage Instagram, and Human Garage YouTube.
All right, that number again?
0713-030-395 or 7.
395 or 397?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, I'd like to say thank you so much, Daktari. Thank you so much, good sir. And thank you, Arsenal, for also attending. This is not vile imebendi hivi. You know, defense ya Arsenal. But it's okay.
So next time you do your pedicure so that we can...
Yes, next time I'll be here, pedicured, nini, oiled, nini. Na hata nitavaa short ndo muone naweza squat. Mnanijudge hapa hivi na hamjui mimi ni ule mzee.
Alafu saying yetu ni, we normally say, Mother Nature is the best doctor. Barefooting is the barefoot doctor's prescription. Keeping it between stretch and relaxation, because pain is not a lifestyle.
Pain is not a lifestyle. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate. Poleni sana tumekula time kidogo. TX msitulog sana. Mnaweza cheza hii video mseme it was my fault. Ndio msipate shida. Mungu abariki sana. Yeah, tuonane. Pain is not a lifestyle. Peace and love.
Thank you.
Asante sana.